2 QB extensions. Jordan Love and Tua got the contract extensions.
Hey, congrats, fellas.
We prayed on this. We prayed on this shit.
Who do you guys think was more worth it?
Realistically, neither.
Can I, Riv? Fair. Now, here we go. I'll say this with the idea. This topic is unfortunate because now I'm being put in a position to pick one over the other, and that's fair, of course, because I respect the fuck out of Jordan Love. He proved me uberly wrong and was amazing this past season. But again, similarly, Tua also shut up a lot of people and was fantastic this season. But like Riv just said, neither of them deserve it, right? If you want to take that route, that's fair. At least it's consistent.
I just think Tua,
Did Tua shut up?
I don't think he did.
He lost me with that. I ignored that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wasn't a starting level quarterback, right?
No, he shut that part up.
Yeah, like that was like 3 years
people
ago,
legitimately said that he was not meant to play in the quarterback. Play in the National Football League as quarterback. Oh, no, but he shut you up drastically because he is a franchise quarterback now.
That money is franchise quarterback money. Has he shown that he can be a franchise quarterback? I don't know yet because that playoff game was really fucking bad. Granted, it was cold. I get it. All that cool stuff. He wasn't good. And he has not been good towards the back end of years to finish off the season. That's a fact.
All right.
Jordan Love, in his situation, is a little different. You sat for a couple years. If we're being honest, he was great. He wasn't great all year. He had a stretch where he was, really good, and he had a great playoff moment. But still, that could all be a fluke. I don't think it is, but you essentially paid him for a back end of a year in a good playoff game. So for both guys to get that money,
EPA? What are you better?
That's fine. Again, but who was more worth it? Right, one guy was.
I guess you're gonna go on the Tua speak.
I mean, listen, you put a topic on the list, and I have to talk about one or the other. Of course, I'm gonna come with some numbers.
I'm gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy this show.
One guy played one season. The other, of course, did struggle with injury. Did come back this season. Did play every single game. That was huge. I think the injury, on top of the fact of, yes, he hasn't been great towards the end of seasons, and of course in his one playoff game he was pretty terrible.
Don't forget the Buffalo game.
It translated for him not being with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow as the highest paid quarterback. But off one season, Jordan Love is now tied annually for most money by a quarterback. But this past season, Tua had a higher EPA per play, had a better success rate, higher completion percentage over expected. He had more passing yards. On the deep ball, 20 yards or more, Jordan Love did have more yards, did have more big-time throws, but only by one. He had 45. This is with quarterbacks that had at least 45 attempts, 20-plus yards over the field. Third highest adjusting completion percentage in the NFL. 26 big-time throws, one less than Jordan. And again, he got paid less than Jordan Love. One playoff win gave Jordan Love, $8 more million than Tua Tagovailoa. Again, Jordan Love was fantastic this past season, but constantly we see Tua get slandered. When this past season, he was nothing short of amazing, but of course, fell short of their ultimate goal, which was winning a championship.
You would have took a angrier approach because I feel like he's about to take a very
I don't need to be angry.
Approach.
And if he's going to be disrespectful, that's completely okay with me. That's Mr. Moran.
That's going to be kind of the medium.
Honestly, he already. It's irrelevant. When this guy talks about Tua, it's irrelevant. It really is.
Okay,
why is it irrelevant?
Because again, he has Jordan Love,
points.
And again. That's where
it's because I don't have a dog in this race.
There's no dog. I have no dog.
Dallas, I need to ask you a question.
Because you were with me with Jordan Love.
See why he asked that?
You were with him with Tua. So you're kind of just like,
Dallas, let me ask you a question. I just want to get this out the way real quick.
Okay.
When Mike McDaniel came to the Dolphins, what did we say?
We said Tua's going to have a great statistical season.
Okay. I just want to get that out.
Was it Mike McDaniel or was it Tyreek Hill?
It was Mike McDaniel.
What really moved you? It was Tyreek Hill.
First it was Mike, and then it was Tyreek. We're like, yeah.
We wanted Mike McDaniel. We're Jets fans. We wanted Mike McDaniel.
That's on y'all. Enjoy Robert
First of
Saleh.
all, you're saying Jordan Love got paid more. Face value, okay. Tua got more guaranteed money. He got more guaranteed money. When you look at Jordan Love's cap hits per spot rack, this year, $20 million, 2025, $29 million, 2026, $36 million, 2027, $42 million, and 2028, it spikes. It's at $74 million. At 2029, it's $34 million. It's a voided dead cap year. But in 2028, they can put that money on the back end.
Yep.
So we're talking about the next 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons of Jordan Love. He's getting paid $42 million per year, if not less. This is Daniel Jones level cap hits, and he's way better than Daniel Jones. Somebody who didn't deserve his contract, by the way.
He only got 40. He's like 15th highest paid quarterback now, which may be too high.
Who would this is a simple question between Jordan Love and Tua. Would you rather a guy that has had at bats 3 times and swung and missed each time, or a guy in Jordan Love who's been at bat and swung and hit a home run his first time up?
And what about the second time out?
We're waiting.
No. We saw it.
He got there.
We saw it.
He got there.
Right.
I'm being put in a position where I have to hate on Jordan. I don't want to do that.
He got there.
You've done it before.
That's the thing. He got there.
I'm done with it, though.
Tua has collapsed every single year of his career thus far.
Forget about the Cowboys.
His rookie season, Week 17
Why
versus
do they
the Bills.
forget about the Cowboys game?
To get into the playoffs, he choked.
You know what's crazy? Jordan Love's shining moment in the NFL is against the Cowboys. But if Tua would have played against the Cowboys in the playoffs, he probably would have smoked them too.
This is the difference. The Dolphins in the last 2 years are 3-2 against teams that have made the playoffs.
3-2, you said?
3-12.
Oh, I thought so. I'm like, that sounds wrong. Yes.
Tua has only thrown more than 2 touchdowns in one of those games. In 15 games, Tua, this number one, all this shit you were saying.
Speak about the defense too when you do this.
2 touchdowns in only one of those games.
And what did the Dolphins defense give up in those games?
This past season,
it's just so it's you always pick and choose.
What do you mean pick and choose? He was terrible.
But the Dolphins defense. Okay, his rookie season.
Was he good against the Bills?
No, that was his
Was he
second
good against the
year.
Ravens?
That hit
Bro,
Bills
I'm talking
his
about
rookie
this
season.
past year.
I don't care about the
Against the
defense.
Titans, he was solid.
He wasn't good. He
Bill's
choked.
second time off.
He
Bill's
choked.
second. He did not
Tua had
choke. The
two-
defense gave up 14 points
Tua had
in
2
3
chances.
minutes. This is where you lose me.
Bro,
the defense was
that's cap.
horrendous.
That's cap.
They were up double digits.
Tua was
the
also
defense
horrendous.
gave up 14 points in 3 minutes.
Tua was also horrendous. The
He was
Dolphins'
not
offense in the fourth
horrendous.
quarter, they had
were
a
up
chance to get a
double
first down.
digits.
They had a chance to get a first down. Tua didn't convert. They had to punt the ball. The Titans go ahead and score. Tua has the last crack at the ball.
The defense
and doesn't do
was
nothing.
atrocious.
Is this not a fact? Down the end of the season, towards the end of the season, the Dolphins just needed 1 win to clinch the AFC East. And how many weeks
Did they not go on the road and beat Dallas? That's not big.
They lost against the Titans. They lost against the
heard.
Bills. They lost
The Bills
against
were a
the
great
Ravens.
team. They won the division. You
1-5
great
against
teams,
playoff
bro.
teams. The Dolphins were 1-5 against playoff teams last year, and they got outscored by 91 total points in those games. They weren't even competitive.
91 points.
I think that Baltimore game
not
probably half of
also
them points.
on the
Yeah,
defense.
no,
They got blown out by the Bills the first time around.
for sure.
That's not also on the
like
defense.
56
Of course
to
that's
14, bro.
91's egregious.
Football is a team game. The same way you
Like
could,
Herbert gets praised for, oh wow, look how many
Here we go,
points he
here we go,
scored.
here
But
we go,
damn
here we
it,
go.
this defense
we
also
go.
gave up this exact same amount of points. That defense sucks.
Football
but
is
not
a
the
team
same.
game. So-
Not that same energy for this
the
defense.
same thing could be said for Jordan Love in the playoffs versus the Niners. If the Packers were to catch an interception, they probably would be advancing to the NFC Championship game.
Packers defense gave up what? What is it? 24
The
points.
Packers defense allowed the Niners to
one of the
come back
best
in the fourth
offenses in the
quarter.
game?
The Packers defense was pretty good that game.
Yeah, but the Packers dropped multiple interceptions that could have sealed the game. That's a fact.
Jordan
If
Love
their
threw
defense,
interceptions.
no, I understand that, but I'm saying Tua. Wow, you can talk about the defense not being that good. Tua, 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in those games. 83 passer rating. This isn't a franchise quarterback. He was a 44th ranked quarterback against pressure
You know what's
last
funny,
year.
bro? We could look up the stats of Tua versus the Chiefs and Jordan Love versus the Niners, and it's no real difference.
Yes, it is a real difference.
Look at the
Tua
passer
couldn't get
rating,
down
look at the
field.
QBR, look at the passing yards. It's the same fucking thing.
Tua couldn't get down the field,
And it
bro.
also was minus 4 degrees in Kansas City.
Tua couldn't get down the
People
field
lost fingers,
at all.
right? But I don't know if you knew that.
I heard about that. Game was crazy. That
Multiple
game was crazy.
fingers were gone.
Tua
hard
this,
to watch,
Tua this
honestly.
past season, he was a 37th ranked quarterback in the fourth quarter, awful in the fourth quarter, 34th ranked quarterback in the red zone. When you look at Jordan Love, his most high profile games outside of the Niners game, he was excellent. Jordan Love versus playoff teams went 3-2, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 100 passer rating. Tua has never been this good against playoff teams in a stretch. He's never been this good in a high pressure games. Thanksgiving versus Detroit, Jordan Love lit them the fuck up. Against KC, he lit them up on primetime. Week 17 against the Vikings, Brian Flores, top 10 defense. He
Stop.
lit them up.
Don't move me like that.
Versus
Stop.
the Bears, week 18, the Bears were the number 1 defense
Now
in the
you wanna
back
give him
half of the
credit.
season.
I respect that.
Jordan Love
It was great.
lit them up.
It was a great
And
game.
then in the first game of the playoffs, he lit the Cowboys up. He had one of the best playoff
But when I
debuts
talk
in
about
NFL
Tua
history.
going up against Dallas, and
That was
doing
a
his thing-
regular season game.
Okay, and
Jordan Love also has more than just one game to look at.
In what reference?
You might have been cooking.
Last year.
And
beating
talking
good
about
teams?
You just said 3-2.
Well, no, I'm saying the KC game. I'm saying down the stretch, the Dallas game, the Chicago game, the Minnesota game.
Chicago now is a good team.
Good defense going on the road.
Minnesota's now a good team.
Good defense.
There were good defenses. There were definitely
good
good
defense
defenses.
was Tua beating last year, bro.
To be fair, though,
Tua
Minnesota
beat
had
no good
quarterback.
defense last year.
Can you name me one off the top of your head?
Was
Jets?
Dallas home or
Yeah,
away?
Jets lit you guys up, actually.
Yeah,
Both
that
times.
shit really. I mean, it's Zach Wilson.
Right, no.
Minnesota's quarterback.
Now
though,
we're moving goalposts again because the Jets are one of the best defense in the league. Torched you guys, but we give credit to Minnesota. We give credit to the Bears. Don't do that. Don't pick and choose. That's all I ask.
I'll say this. I think
The
it's
Jets'
really
offense
easy.
was so much worse, though.
I think it's really easy to answer
then
this
what?
question.
Then the Bears?
Yeah,
Bears
100%.
offense still was bad.
No, not like the Jets,
No.
bro.
The
The
Jets
Jets couldn't
move the
fucking
ball.
get a first down.
Jets gonna move
The
ball.
Jets at least they had Brees Hall, they had Garrett Wilson,
didn't
similarly
matter.
to the Bears having DJ Moore.
Bro, the Jets couldn't move the ball.
What were the Bears doing?
The Bears were able to move the ball.
Bears.
They actually
Their
were
run
able
game-
to
their
move
run
the
game
ball.
was really
They were-
good.
Yeah, it was really good.
And
I think it's
run
easy to
game-
answer this question though. No, the run game for the Jets
Bro,
last year
there
wasn't
was
that
times I
efficient.
watched the Jets
You
last
still
season.
got the ball to Brees Hall. He had
He
had
92
less than
receptions.
1,000
He had
yards.
942.
Bro, there was times I watched the Jets.
What was his
multiple
yards per
times,
carry?
Multiple times.
Almost
Under
fi-
4.
No, that's wrong.
I don't know.
Multiple times I watched the
lying
Jets
on your
last
own guy.
season. From the first minute to the 60th minute, I didn't see us
Your
get more than
offense
2
is
first
terrible.
downs.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight that. It's horrible. It's one of the
This is
worst
the
I've
thing.
seen.
Ultimately,
ever.
Who was worth this contract more? And I think it's not about what they've done. For Tua, it's more about what he's done because he's played longer. Jordan Love has only played 1 year in the
full
NFL.
season. Mm-hmm.
This is about
4.5.
That's amazing.
This is about what they will be.
Considering?
Whose contract has a better chance to age
That's
better?
a better question.
That's Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a legit franchise
I
quarterback.
think the best way to answer it is if both of these guys were on the open market, who gets more money?
I mean, he just got paid more. And
To-
Tua
to
also
me,
has concussion history.
I'll be honest. I was a bit not surprised because I knew Miami was going to do it, but I think it probably would have been smarter for Miami to be like, Tua, go out there and see what your market is. Because I
Tua
don't
would have got paid.
I don't know if another team's come with that contract.
They most definitely are
What
giving
team?
him
What team?
the Broncos.
you got Bo Nix.
I'm sorry.
They're not going out and paying Tua. You just spent the
You
first
have
round pick on
nothing
Bo
for him
Nix.
after that though. Like you don't have a team around Tua.
But we needed a quarterback.
Realistically,
We were
what
paying that
teams out
money.
there are going out there and paying Tua 150 plus million guaranteed?
The Giants.
Was that the guaranteed money? I'm sorry, I might have misspoke. What was
The guaranteed
guarantees?
money, I think Tua was at like 167 mil,
Okay,
and
that's-
Jordan Love was at 163. It's only a $4 million difference between
They
the
got paid the
guarantees.
same.
They
That's
essentially got paid the same.
Listen, the big difference is that Jordan Love down the stretch of the season, the final 8 weeks, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Amazing.
The way he played, the heights he reached, the throws he made is something that I just don't see is capable for Tua to do.
Tua has made insane throws too.
Not like Jordan Love.
That's
Not
just
like Jordan
That's a
Love.
tough thing
like
to
what
say.
kind of
Not like Jordan Love.
How?
No.
How is
I'm
that?
not-
Oh,
I'm saying
thank you.
because Tua,
Thank
like
you.
from weeks 1 to 6, is fake. He's fake one of them dudes.
When
So
he
it's like-
faces some of the
That-
weakest competition,
hey,
yes.
We're 1
Yo,
through 6
you are
with
a rider.
No,
It's
I'm not
insane
saying-
to
no,
me.
I'm not
Oh my,
saying-
bro, it's
no,
a fact.
no, it's
I'm
not
not saying
against
it
your
moves me.
beloved New York Jets. He fried you both times.
I understand. Shout out to him down the
But
stretch.
don't
every
say
year, he
that
falls
when the
apart.
Giants are one. Okay, that's a
falls
different
apart
argument.
every year.
That's a different argument. And Jordan Love, again, you're putting me in a position
Oh
where
no! First year Jordan Love
against
went
the-
on the road to fucking to the
best team in the
49ers and
NFL.
lost.
This
How
was-
dare he?
This
Bro,
was
he has-
Tua's first full year playing from start to finish.
I mean, it's also an issue that he can't stay healthy.
And Jordan
I
Love's
think
season
that's
was
a
better.
knock against him.
This year,
Jordan Love was better this year than Tua.
Jordan
100%.
Love's
Why? Off
Jordan Love's
one
better
playoff
quarterback.
win?
He has a
off
higher
this season.
ceiling.
He had 32
I already
touchdowns. He
told
was
you
second
what
in
it
touchdowns.
was.
Jordan Love was second in touchdowns.
Okay.
Tua didn't have more touchdowns than Jordan Love this year.
did he have more yards? Remember
No.
what moves you more, yards or touchdowns?
Who was in a better offensive infrastructure this year, Tua or Jordan Love?
Definitely Tua.
Two is number. I mean,
That's
Jordan Love is
fine.
top
One of the
10.
best.
That's
tough.
arguable.
That's
Jordan
tough.
Love's top 10, but two is
Who-
probably number one.
on those
Or
deep
two.
throws,
Niners.
the lowest time to throw was to a Tagovailoa.
Yes,
under
because
3
Mike
seconds.
McDaniel schemes things up.
You
But
also
again,
have
deep
the
down the
fastest receiver
field,
in the league
20
that could just
yards
get 20
beyond
yards
the
down
field.
the field in a second.
he
How do you
has-
scheme that up fast?
You have the fastest
there
player
is
in the
no
league.
way. There is no way
Helps.
you're telling me the Packers' offensive infrastructure is better than Miami. Miami just had a top 5 rushing attack.
Tua's
they have
offensive
Tyreek
line
Hill
still
and
not
Jalen
good.
Waddle.
Still not good.
Jalen
Waddle was injured a lot this season.
And Jalen Waddle would be the best receiver on the Packers. Easily.
Of course.
They had a way better rushing attack than the Packers. The Packers, to the first half of the year, that Jordan Love gets blamed for all the problems that happened in Green Bay, that was mostly on Matt LaFleur. And then the young offense really not being on the same page. Jordan Love led the youngest offense in NFL history to the playoffs. He has shown he can elevate talent around him in his first season. Tua is playing with 2 great receivers. Tyreek Hill is an elite receiver. Jalen Waddle, if he's not with Tyreek Hill, could be one of the better receivers.
Did he not elevate Tyreek Hill?
No.
Why did he have 2 of his best receiving seasons?
Because they're using Jalen Waddle as a decoy to open up the field for Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has always been this good.
Jalen Waddle's first year with Tyreek Hill had 1,300 yards, his career high.
That cheat motion they have with Tyreek Hill gets him just so many different looks.
Every team in the league can do it.
Is it safe to say Tua had a better first end and Jordan Love had a better back end?
In a totality, Jordan Love was better.
I don't know if you can say that for the season.
No, for the season, Jordan Love was better. Jordan Love was better.
Again, you guys love to dick suck advanced stats until it's time to talk about Tua. No, because I already told you.
I'll be honest, Drew, I don't give a fuck about the advanced stats. I watched the game. Jordan Love's a better quarterback.
All right, and how did you feel after San Fran? How did you feel after that?
Jordan Love is a better quarterback.
What kind of fucking statement is that when Jordan Love was
How did you feel about Tua against Kansas City?
I said he was terrible. But you guys are not being. You are not. Against San Fran, he was pretty fucking bad. And on top of it,
conditions.
Didn't Jordan Love throw for 2 touchdowns in that game?
Threw 2 interceptions.
He threw 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
He threw for $170?
It was like $190.
It started pouring down rain.
And it was,
you know that, right? It started pouring down rain. No, you know that though.
I don't even want to have these conversations because you don't stay consistent. I already said I don't. Either which way you shake it, I'm cool with. I'm gonna take my guy.
You know Jordan Love is better. Jordan Love is better.
Objectively speaking, the Miami game was much tougher to play in.
Listen, there is nobody that walked away from this season, start to finish, and said, I'd rather have Tua than Jordan Love as my franchise quarterback.
Jordan Love was amazing. This is also his first time playing, which is why they also are moving.
And Jordan Love,
that's why it's so impressive.
Yes, it's his first time playing. He sat behind a Hall of Famer for 3 years where everybody called him a bust and said he wasn't shit.
They also did the same with Tua when they put the worst offensive line in front of him. He had one of the worst weapons group. He had a bottom 3 rush offense, and you guys said that he wasn't starting level. You guys didn't give him any time to develop, and now that he actually has a joke, and I was wrong.
Yes, you called Jordan Love a joke. That's worse than me saying Tua's not a star level quarterback.
It's the same shit.
It's not. What's
the same shit? It's the same shit. The only difference is that you have not accepted that you were wrong. I've accepted that I was wrong
about. Tua hasn't won a playoff game. He stinks against playoff teams.
And Jordan Love stunk against the team that went to the Super Bowl.
But the path on how he got there was
his team actually won the whole thing.
Why are you so high on the Packers this season? You said you was really high on the Packers.
Overall team.
But why is the real reason you're really high on the Packers?
They have a great overall team.
Damn good.
But I'm also high on the Dolphins.
The Packers have a great team, but also you know that Jordan Love's going to take another step because last year was his first year starter. Is he?
Yes.
What you mean? He's been walking in place for 3 years. He hasn't won a playoff game.
He's walking in place.
He chokes every time down the stretch of the season. I feel like I'm
against the Cowboys. We really you guys constantly say he's done nothing, but the Cowboys game was a huge win on the road.
I feel like I'm replaying the same thing.
Win on the road. What's the Jordan Love playoff win?
I mean, obviously he won a playoff game. That was a way. It is.
That's fucking generational. If that's huge,
but again,
bro.
if Tua plays against the Cowboys in the playoffs, he beats them.
I mean,
maybe
because also Tua played against the Cowboys while Tyreek was injured.
What was the final?
Excuse me, not Tyreek. Not Jalen Waddle was injured.
No? Yeah, it was a 1 possession game.
And who had a game-winning comeback?
I'm just saying. I don't know if you could just assume he's going to go in and do it again. Like.
Nobody here picked. Did you pick Dallas to beat the Packers that day?
Nobody here picked the Packers.
Nobody did. Nobody did.
No, but the Packers had a really good shot, though. They matched up with them well.
Yeah.
They matched up.
You could say that in hindsight now.
This is why I'm not giving Tua an excuse for losing to the Chiefs in the bad weather game. Because, okay, I understand it's a tough game. It's a tough environment. There's no doubt that it's a tough environment. The Dolphins put themselves in that environment because they had a chance for multiple weeks in a row to clinch the division.
Losing to the Titans is definitely a huge blemish on the season. They were up double digits with 3 minutes left. As much as you can blame Tua, you need to keep that same energy with the defense.
There's no doubt, but Tua gets a lot of the blame too.
How much? Are we giving more blame to Tua, who put them in that position in the first place, up double digits?
It could definitely
Or are we going to go up? Are we going to give the blame to the defense that against a bottom offense in the league let up 14 points in 3 minutes? Do that math.
Is a franchise quarterback not supposed to get a first down on third down?
But
Twice?
again,
he had 2 times to get a first down on third down. He had 2 times, and he had open receivers on both third downs. I hope you know that. And he missed both. What do you mean? It's on him too.
Are you, again, like I just said, as much as you can blame Tua, you need to blame the defense even more.
What is the common theme whenever the Dolphins lose to playoff teams?
Tua.
What is the common theme?
Everyone but Tua.
Who tends
It's
to
both. That's again. I hate that fucking statement so fucking much
tends to play
because
poorly?
I'm the only one here that actually accepts accountability when my fucking take is wrong.
Whoa,
Nobody else here fucking does that.
What was the Mike McDaniel shit when they lost?
What do you even mean by that?
When you were blaming Mike McDaniel for the Titans, Al.
How did I do that?
Was it not the Titans game? There was one of these games where it was on Mike McDaniel.
He definitely blamed it on the Chiefs game.
Was it the Chiefs game? I remember there was one game where like Mike
facts,
McDaniel,
facts,
X,
I
Y, and Z. I was
The
like,
only one that I would say is the versus the Chiefs. I wanted them to air it out more, but again, nothing was working that day for any parts of the offense.
Patrick Mahomes looked fine. I mean,
Because
they were going crazy.
The
He's
greatest
a 10
quarterback
times better
of
than
all
him.
time went into a first round playoff game and was Patrick Mahomes.
it's just hard for me with Tua when like you're gonna have to go this upcoming season. If you don't win the division, if you don't get the number 1 seed in the AFC, you potentially have to go into Buffalo, into Kansas City, into the Jets if they're able to stay healthy, into Baltimore, like all these cold environments, and that's one of his biggest issues. And there's just no way to overcome.
And Jared
that.
Goff's a better quarterback than Tua, in your opinion?
I mean, I think they do similar things.
But you would take Jared Goff.
probably. Yeah.
But even though he needs those exact same stipulations for him to be great, you would take Jared Goff.
I mean, they're in the same tier.
But
Yeah.
you would take Jared Goff.
But
because
Jordan
Jared
Love
Goff,
is in a different
14
tier.
of 17
Yes.
games is
That's
going to be
argument
playing
there.
in a dome or
Yes.
right. But you would take Jared Goff even though he needs the same exact stipulation.
I don't know what the
even
point
though
is
in
here.
a worse situation, Tua was better than Jared Goff this past
I don't know
season,
what the
you would
point is
still
here.
take Jared Goff.
I don't know what the point is here.
The point is, you are trying to blame Tua for a deficiency that he does have, but not keep that same energy for a different
you
quarterback.
not-
When Tua
No, that's-
has been
no, bro.
better than Jared
Because
Goff
when
given
I
situation.
made the comments about Jared Goff last season, saying that he struggles outside, you guys were like, don't merch him. I'm like, no, he's just not good outside of domes. You guys were shitting on me,
so
but
why
I said
is
that
Jared
last
Goff
year.
better than Tua?
I just think he has.
He's been able to show that he can succeed in multiple different schemes already.
I think his arms is a bit
needs,
stronger.
He needs the best offensive line. He needs one of the best play callers. He needs one of the best wide receivers in the game. He needs one of the best running backs in the game. He needs one of the best tight ends in the game. But this is all
When you
things.
put it like that,
That's my point.
Yeah, Jared Goff's a game manager though. Like I don't care.
Again,
That's
Tua.
fine.
If you want to take Tua over Jared Goff, that like they're
But
like
my
the
point
13th and
is you
14th
don't
best
keep that
quarterbacks.
same
I'm not like,
energy.
Well, the point
no,
that
I
you're
did,
making,
and you were shitting on it, saying you're calling him a dome merchant.
But
I said
now
he is.
but now you're not saying that. You're saying that you would take Jared Goff
they
over
are
him.
in the same tier.
But again, Tua with
They're the same dude.
Jordan Love has shown he doesn't need elite receivers to be an elite quarterback.
Neither of
He has
them
shown
are
that.
doing off script,
But
off
we can say
Jordan Love
platform,
has shown he doesn't
crazy
need an elite
shit.
running game to be an elite quarterback.
he
He showed that
he
already.
needed an elite weapon against San Fran.
I don't know. I think his mistakes just cost him in that game.
Aaron Jones was an elite weapon down the stretch, and it was extremely beneficial for the Packers.
Okay, yes, but he didn't have an elite wideout option. And I thought they could have beat the Niners. It's just his mistakes came back to bite him. That's on him. But when we're comparing Jordan Love and Tua's playoff game, Tua only had one play that game that was successful, and it was the play to Tyreek Hill that was it was a crazy underthrow. That's the
It was a
reality
bomb
of it.
down the field regardless.
Jordan Love had more good plays against the Niners than Tua had against the Chiefs.
And then
without
the
a
biggest
doubt.
moments of the game, he was dog
but
shit.
You're comparing Jordan Love's second playoff game because he actually got to a 2nd playoff game versus Tua,
Again,
who's never
a
been able to
good
get to one.
matchup for him.
What is the common theme with the Dolphins whenever they lose to a better opponent? Tua tends to play bad. That happens all the time.
Tua does not overcome the massive hole that his defense puts him in. But on top of it, yes, in the moments where Tua has need to be clutch, he hasn't been.
Were they in a massive hole defensively against the Chiefs? I thought the defense kept them in the game.
Against the Chiefs?
No, against the Chiefs, the defense definitely kept them in that game.
26-7?
That's a final score. Because Tua couldn't get shit. That's why.
Again, against one of the better defenses against the Chiefs.
And who had the most points against the Chiefs this year?
So when we talk about
who had the most points?
But I can't bring up the regular season, right? I'm not allowed to do that. Rev, I'm not allowed to do that.
Who played the best against the Chiefs?
When I talk about the Cowboys, I can't talk about the regular season.
It was 16-7 at halftime.
Okay, and with the final score is what?
26.
Because Tua couldn't get any drives. He couldn't sustain drives.
They scored 10 points in the second half.
That's why. Actually. The Dolphins couldn't get anything going.
I understand that. The offense was horrendous.
And Tua could not throw at all.
Against one of the best
defenses felt like
in
an
the
interception
league.
was going to happen.
That's also not
nobody in the
true.
playoffs could really get shit off against the Chiefs.
No one.
Yeah,
but it's just like outside of the Titans game down the stretch, you want to say they collapsed, that's fine. The Baltimore game, y'all got smoked.
For
Buffalo,
sure.
you allowed 21. Dallas, it was 22-20.
And that's the one game where I will shake your hand right now and say a banged up Miami defense did their thing
even
against
the first
Buffalo.
Chiefs game in Germany or whatever was 21-14.
I agree with that. And that was not a bad showing.
But just like
They just had timely turnovers
I don't think the defense
that weren't
is
on
like
Tua.
the reason why all this shit's happening.
Against the Eagles, how many points did the Dolphins defense let up? Against the Bills in week 3, how many points did the defense let up?
Yeah, they allowed, it was 31-17 against
the
Philly.
Eagles. And then that's also when Tyreek Hill dropped a touchdown.
He did.
Okay, now against the
That
Bills.
was in that game, though.
The
Agreed.
early game against the Bills was 48-20.
And Tua had how many touchdowns? How many passing yards?
He had 280 yards. Touchdowns. Gotta go to box score.
This guy.
One touchdown. 280 yards.
Listen, the reality of it is that
I don't know why you're
the
looking at me
Dolphins.
upset
It's
the
just
numbers.
again, I'm not mad at the numbers. My point is the Bills scored over 40 points. The Eagles scored 30 points.
Yeah, you allowed 31
Over the
to
last-
win the game. Like,
Huh?
like you can. I don't know. Does every week Miami have to hold their opponent to under 20 to win?
30 fucking points, 40 points. That's embarrassing.
You've won 36-34,
Are the-
70-20.
the Dolphins have to go
31-16,
down every
42
single-
You scored 30 points almost every week.
Am I not mistaken?
But against good teams, the defense plays like shit.
And the offense also scored 20 points against Buffalo, 17 against Philly,
How about the
14
team
against
just in
Kansas City,
totality
19
doesn't
against
play good
Baltimore,
when
14
Right.
against Buffalo.
Riff, thank you.
What was
That's
your
the
comment,
most
Riff?
fair
the
fuck.
team in totality.
But Tua
just
doesn't play well
good
either.
when they play a good
That's
team.
the whole point. Tua doesn't play well.
Play objectively bad in any of those games.
Against KC with the ball
Against
slipped
KC,
out. Yes.
agreed.
Casey
He
wasn't
played
great.
bad against the Bills the
Baltimore
first two
game was
times.
just a
The
fucking
first
asshole.
time
He
was
played bad against the Ravens. Yes, he did. He didn't play well against the Titans.
The
either.
Ravens also was a drop Tyreek touchdown,
Ravens
then
was
everything
also
started
a
to fumble
blowout
after
by,
that.
like,
Agreed.
fucking-
That wasn't a close game.
Yeah,
that
but
was not
ultimately,
even close.
did we not just witness in the regular season when the Eagles played the Bills, that game went into overtime and the Bills scored on every single possession they had, and Jalen Hurts was still able to win that game? Just
Again,
because
it
your
was 17
defense,
points, but Tyreek Hill dropped a touchdown.
just because your defense is letting up points doesn't mean you cannot come back and answer back.
100%.
Tua is 3-12. The Dolphins are 3-12 against
Thank you.
playoff teams
Good job.
in the last 2 seasons. Tua only has thrown 2 touchdowns or more in one of those games. Does that not in 15 games? The guy who leads the league in passing yards is top 5 in passing touchdowns. Only has
Tough
thrown
call.
2 touchdowns or more
Tough way to look
in
at
one
it.
of those games. But there are quarterbacks that play better against better competition all the time. Joe Burrow, coming off an injury, played his best game of the season against the Niners, played his best game of the season against the Bills, against top-level competition, and Tua consistently shrinks. And to this point, the sample size we have of Jordan Love and Tua is that Jordan Love plays better in high-leverage moments.
And a lot of similarities that these best teams do have going up against the Dolphins is that they have a great pass rush. Bills had a great pass rush. Chiefs have a great pass rush. The Ravens obviously had a great pass rush. The one that's probably most in question would probably be the Philadelphia Eagles. Regardless, this offensive line for the Dolphins is still not great. And Tua, who is not a mobile quarterback, or at least this past season, they prioritized him being a pocket
Said he's
passer.
quicker this year.
I'm hopeful. I'm not going to hold my breath on it.
That's why it's also tough because you lost Robert Hunt in the offseason. You're
Agreed.
paying this dude 150 plus million guarantees, so it's going to be difficult to improve the roster. It's going to be difficult to improve the offensive line. That's what happens when you get off these rookie contracts, you know?
Listen, from moving forward, they have to draft offensive linemen in the first round.
They got to hit on them.
I think both guys.
But
just
this
have
year,
to,
they drafted Chop Robinson, which, again, you lost Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. Who knows when they're going to be back? That's going to be a project pick, in my opinion. I feel like he still has to refine his tools.
Developmental, yeah.
You were at a spot where you still could have gotten a solid offensive lineman.
Even with all that, if Tua plays better, they could win those games. That's really the bottom line of it.
The one
guys,
versus the Bills, I agree wholehearedly.
It's tough.
The
Both
second
guys have
round
to show
against
it.
the Bills, I agree
You
wholeheartedly.
get paid this type of money, you gotta
be a dude.
You get paid this type of money. You have to show it.
Tyreek also is in conversation for the best in the game, and he has moments where he shrinks.
I agree.
They only talk about the quarterback. They don't talk about the wide receiver.
He also has 95% of the time Tyreek's doing something amazing. 5% of the time
But
he's
Tua
doing
is
something
also
terrible.
doing amazing stuff like 90, 85% of the time.
For sure. But it's hard for me to be like, well, Tyreek.
See, but that is not right, because so many moments this past season, I think Tyreek was second in drops this year, although he's getting an insane amount of targets. That makes a whole lot of sense. In high leverage moments, he's dropping the ball and dropping touchdowns.
The Philly game definitely stands out.
And against the Chiefs, you get fucking stripped and they turn it back for a touchdown. And ultimately, that was the turning point. Even though in the second half, Tua and the offense came out guns blazing, put them in position to almost win the game, slipped out of his hand. That was a fucked up
the game
moment.
was in his hands at that point.
Correct.
The game
Agreed.
was in his
Wholeheartedly
hands.
agree.
So the Tyreek fumble was even
So then the Jalen Hurts fumble didn't matter.
Got him.
Well, no, I'm not saying it didn't matter, but it didn't cost them the game.
Then the Jalen Hurts thing didn't matter, right?
No, it mattered. It's not like that cost them the game,
But
though.
similar. All right, but then, I don't know. Then
You've said before the Hurts fumble cost him the game.
But that was a big turning point. It allowed 7 points of it. No, there's no doubt.
I'm trying to use the same energy for this.
If Jalen Hurts had the final drive of that Super Bowl and he did not convert on that final drive, that would be the moment we point at that he failed. Like Tua in that moment, the game was in his hands to win it, and he didn't execute. The difference between Jalen Hurts and that Super Bowl is that the last play of the game was in the Chiefs' hands. He couldn't do nothing about it to answer. Tua was able to answer, and that entire drive was Raheem Mostert breaking off big runs, and then the play you needed, it slipped out of Tua's
We just
hands.
can't call that unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It was wide open.
It is. I'm
Tua
not saying it's
hits
not
that
unfortunate.
9 times out of 10, and that was the one time where it didn't.
I'm just saying, ultimately, Tua...
And they had 0 points at half. And they were able to bring it back on the Chiefs.
You watch these games and you say, okay, listen, the team may have lost, but the quarterback put his best foot forward. I think that happens a lot with Josh Allen. The Bills lose, but we say Josh Allen, he put his best foot forward and he did most of what he could to put the Bills in position to win. Most of the times when it comes to the Dolphins, we don't say the same thing with Tua. We say more times than not, he's limiting them because they have to play a certain way. Against playoff teams, he 100% is. They got to tell on what they do.
It's all right. Hopefully this season they're not as conscious or not as worried about the head injuries and he can get outside the pocket a little bit more. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, this whole season was trying to protect Tua. And that was fine. That makes sense. And he was statistically amazing. Hopefully we see more out of structure plays at him because we've seen it in spurts last season as well, that he has that in his bag.